Folks, we are moving on to pendants and casting them in pewter. There is another document that goes along with this video, and it basically discusses what you can and what you cannot do with this assignment. We're going to be casting in pewter, which is a silver-like metal that's super soft, and we print something in the 3D printers, and then we take a mold of that, and then we take the 3D print out of that mold and pour in hot metal where the 3D print used to be. It's really, really cool, but it's just an introduction into casting, and there are some things that we need to do in order to be successful. First things first, I took this right here straight from some of the shape generators over here, and I didn't do anything to this. I cannot use this because I really kind of took it. Will it print? Yeah, I absolutely can cast this shape and turn it into, a pendant of some sort, but I didn't do anything to it. You should be making something and generating your own. And do I need to mention that if you are taking something and not making any changes to it, it's kind of plagiarism, and it's also weak sauce too, because this is an art class and be creative. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this guy out of here because I can't use that. You can use text, and if you see this here, there's some text. Great, fantastic. But the problem is that each and every one of these, because there's a gap in between them, each and every one of these are now individual pendants. So you would have to go in from your shape generator, and you would have to make some connections to make these all connect to each other so that it becomes one pendant. Because these would just pop out of the mold and they'd be separate things. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm also going to say no to this question mark. And I'll pause and have you think about why you cannot do this question mark as a pendant. It's a couple reasons, but hint, hint, we just went over it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Let's talk about this, skinny cylinder thing right here. This would not be really good because there's no large area in this for the metal to be poured into. It's complicated, but, the metal is going to come from the top down here, and there's nothing to pour into. So no skinny cylinders like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. If you see this right here, it's not touching the base. There's no flat area right here, and it's just got to be able to touch a flat area. So that's not going to work. And also I stole that and I didn't make any changes to it. This right here, you can see that there is a point and a point, and no area on here is flat. There has to be a large flat area in which the metal has to pour into. And if it's not flat, it's not going to be pourable. So it has to be at least flat on one side. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So it brings me to this final shape right here. Whoops, I'm trying to drag this. Come on now. Come on. And this will work, actually. It's not going to work because I stole it and I didn't make any changes from it. I just dragged it from here, put it over here. I didn't even bother changing the color. Not that that would matter anyways. But if we were to print this, I think it would be a successful print. And when we go to pour the metal, I'm just going to go ahead and flip this around 90 degrees. So say that this is another 90 degrees. So that would be 180. Maths. So say this is printed. I can then pour the metal into this side, and this is all supported with the mold that we've taken. I can pour the metal into this large flat area here. It's not how it's going to be printed, but it's how it's going to be cast. So this is okay. The problem with this is that a couple things. I didn't alter this. So maybe I want to come in here and, you know, maybe I want to merge these two and, you know, raise it up a little bit. I don't know. I'm just doing silliness. I can rotate this, but, you know, I got to change things on this to make it kind of my own deal. That's the worst pendant ever. And then maybe be thoughtful as to, well, how the heck am I going to get this to hang? You know, what's it going to hang from? It's a little clunky and chunky, but you are kind of getting the point of how's this going to work? How's this going to work? There are ways to cast with metal on. I have something called a jump ring that you can cast this and add this at the same time. It's not necessary to have this ring in here, but you're just kind of thinking of how to make a pendant, and then make it your own. How are you gonna do this? And you might have to make several examples. And don't be, you know, totally sad if Mrs. Matsui comes by and goes, you know what, I'm sorry, that's not going to work, because I know how it's going to work. And, you know, I would love to say that everything you create is able to actually be cast, but sometimes it's going to take a couple tries to make things happen. So anyhow, it doesn't hurt to make several examples, but bottom line is, you know, really think about how things work, and then there's got to be a large area that is flat that the metal can actually pour into. Okay, I think that'll do. And good luck, have fun, and go forth and make pendants.